and the quick charge that keeps you moving. It's more than you expect, all at an incredible value.
Current qualified lessees can get this 2026 Trax LT for around $240.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to another edition of the Sports Office, the late edition. We're on at 8 o'clock tonight.
It feels weird.
Feels a little different.
Feels weird.
Yeah. We had dinner before the show tonight.
Yeah, it was
instead
nice.
of after. James is in the house. Canner's sick. Hi, Canner. Woody worked early today. It's like a skeleton staff. Yeah, there you go. Tommy with the Canner.
Tom's still here.
Yes. Tonight's episode of the Sports Office is brought to you by Michigan Army National Guard. Learn more at nationalguard.com/MI. We appreciate those guys and gals and everything they do. Listen, we got a lot going on. We got the Pistons playing right now. All the stuff happening at the Combine. Wings get going tomorrow night. Tigers playing down in Lakeland. Michigan and Michigan State doing what they're doing. Oakland looks like they're going to get back on the winning track tonight. They need a win, right?
Oakland needs a win, and then Detroit wins tonight. We got the great matchup, Detroit-Oakland, this Saturday.
Yes, and basically, if Detroit, based on what the coach told us, we had coach on Monday night, he said if they win, they get a home game.
That's important.
So, yeah, I mean, having a home tournament game, Horizon League game would be great. Can you imagine if we got one at Oakland and one at UDM? That'd be great.
Now,
bring it.
I know you don't know the answer, and I don't either, but when's the last time you think Detroit had a home playoff game for a conference?
Oh, UDM?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's ask Stoney. Stoney's here tonight. Stoney, when was the last time the Titans had a home conference playoff game?
I don't know, Dan. It's probably when I was coaching now. I don't know.
It's been a while.
You know,
it wasn't the year they won one game.
That was actually a really good Dickie V.
That was not really, but they might not have ever had one because up until 5-6 years ago, the whole tournament was in one location.
Interesting.
And they have not exactly been stellar enough to host a game.
No,
I could be wrong.
It's pretty crazy when you think about it that they 2 years ago won one game. The Pistons 2 years ago had a 28-game losing streak. And now they're both playing well. I mean, the job he's done at UDM.
Crazy.
It's what he's done is great. I mean, to take a team that won one game, won 8 games last year, now you're bona fide hot, and you're looking at the Horizon League tournament.
Yeah, and it's cool as hell. The problem is that, as Campy has told us about his team, is if anybody plays too good, you know they're going to go in the portal.
Coach Montgomery talked about Orlando Lovejoy. I mean, here's a guy that last year could have left. You know, you average double digits at UDM, there's going to be people knocking on your door. And as he said, your phone's always ringing. But he's a local kid and wanted to stay. And I think those stories are cool, but Stoney, I hate being the old man sitting on the porch screaming at the sun or the moon or the whatever it is or the dog. But look, I love the tournament and I'll watch the tournament, but I do feel, wistful for my youth when we could watch guys develop in a program for 3 or 4 years versus now when we see these programs turn over every single year. I mean, look, I have more power to the kids. They're making money, and hopefully they're saving some of it, or at least enjoying it. But there's just something about this every year where it really limits the attachment you can have to a team, and in particular the players. Maybe you have an attachment to the jersey and the name on it, but it becomes more difficult to have an attachment to the team.
Look, when it's your school, you still love it and you probably follow it closer. But like when the brackets come out, it used to be, Dan, you could sit there and look at, out of the 64 teams or whatever, now it's 68 with the play-ins, but the average sports fan would know players on, the big name teams. Now the brackets come out and, I can't tell you who's on half these teams. And it's just like, all right, they look good in the poll. I don't know. No,
and I've had this conversation with coaches before, and it's difficult for them because they don't know what their ceiling is until maybe you get to February, because these guys are all learning how to play together when you get there in November, December, January. So it becomes more difficult to understand what you've got versus, okay, being old guy, when the freshman came in and played a little bit as a freshman, or maybe he played a lot and then was better as a sophomore, led the way as a junior. And it's changed when we're seeing these teams completely flip year after year.
And it's yeah, you're right. We don't want to be old guy, and I'm the oldest of the three of us, and it sucks actually because you just don't know these players that much. And to me, it's all sports basically is turned into television shows.
Well, it makes what Dusty May has done even more impressive. I mean, his ability to make that team as cohesive as they've been, as selfless as they've been, and as good as they've been. It's really impressive. But, I know we talk about Michigan. They feel the same thing in Arizona, where you've got a couple of freshmen leading the way who are going to be gone at the end of this year. Feel the same way in Houston, where they've been close and haven't been able to get it done. Yeah. I mean, they feel the same way in Duke when, some of these guys aren't going to be there next year. It's the way they're built now. And I know we talk about championship or bust or championship or failure. How many different schools actually feel that way? I don't even know what that means, but there's a number of them that do because of the fact that with this given group, you probably get one bite at the apple.
Yeah, and even if you recruit really good freshmen, you don't even know how much they're going to play because you don't even know who of these guys that you have on your team right now are going to the portal. It's like, what was it, Pitino who said, I don't even recruit anymore. No high school kids. And that's kind of sad in a way.
Well, and I think some coaches are doing that. Some coaches are like, I'm going to go out and get guys who've already performed at this level, or go, like Coach Campio, go strong on the JUCOs, or guys like that, and dip his toe in the pool there because you've seen guys that have played against 19 and 20-year-olds versus recruiting guys that played against 16 and 17-year-olds who may spend a year at your program, and if it doesn't go exactly like they wanted to, may just say, that's it, I'm out of here.
Yeah, or you go to Europe. Well, look at it. Illinois got a few Europeans, and they come over, as grown men.
Or now I guess some of these guys get to go to the G League. Listen, Pistons, I know it's been talked about quite a bit. There's people that are inside of LCA tonight that paid significant money on the secondary market to go see SGA or Chet Holmgren or Jalen Williams and the defending champions, and you get none of them tonight. And I don't know if there's an answer for what the NBA has got going and all this load management stuff and guys who may or may not be hurt. And some of these guys are hurt, in fairness, but it becomes disappointing, I think, for fans. I mean, look, when I was younger, my dad used to let me pick out 3 or 4 games that I would get to go see those guys play. And I picked those games to see certain players. I'd pick the Knicks. I picked the Buffalo Braves when they had Adrian Dantley because I wanted to see him. You picked certain guys, but you can't do that anymore because there's no guarantee they're going to play.
I love the Buffalo Braves reset. Bob McAdoo.
Listen, one of the great series I remember as a kid was Bob McAdoo and the Braves against the Elvin Hayes-led Washington Bullets. And Elvin and McAdoo just going back and forth, and I don't know, probably Randy Smith chipping in on the other end.
Yeah, they had one. Now we're going to go back. They had one with the Sixers the year before Philly got Doc, and it was McAdoo versus George McGinnis, and Buffalo won in a three game series. Look, they're really going to be upset because the Pistons are losing right now by double digits to this team. So the answer, well, the reserves of Oklahoma City, they played well. And they won. Let's say they do win the game. But yes, the NBA has always marketed himself about stars. And when you're a team from the West in particular, where you only make one trip, and you are the defending champ, it's very disappointing. I mean, look, he's not a superstar, but people know who Chet Holmgren is. They'd like to see him play.
Yeah. We saw him play in college for 1 year.
Yeah, exactly.
And didn't get a chance to transfer. Stoney, in listening to a lot of the guys that I really respect talk about the NBA, some of their podcasts, whether it's Simmons or Lowe or those guys or some of the other, there seems to be an opinion of the Pistons that as good as they are during the regular season, and nobody's taking a shot at them and saying they can't represent the East, that the challenge is going to be scoring outside of Cade when they get to the playoffs, and whether or not people are going to be able to take the other guys away from Detroit. And in the end, who those guys will be that will support Cade, because it's going to get more and more difficult as teams collapse on him And you're going to need those other guys to step up.
And it's a valid criticism. That's why before the deadline, a lot of us on the radio and, talking about it on Sportsworks on Sunday, we said they needed somebody else. Now, obviously, Michael Porter Jr. and Trey Murphy, they weren't traded anywhere. So the demand that these teams were wanting for those guys was probably high. But there were fringe guys who were probably better than. Kevin Huerter can't get off the bench.
No.
Now, I saw a story today that Dallas wants to buy out Chris Middleton. I don't know how much he has left. He still shoots about 36% from three. If that's the case, I'd take him in a second. They need other scoring because as much of a great guy as he is, playoff Tobias is not a really good thing. I saw it in Philly.
Yeah. Well, it's a chance for him to rewrite that, and they're going to need him to because they really need him to play well in the postseason. If you're going to survive several series, other guys are going to have to step up significantly, and other guys are going to have to be able to create with the basketball. We already know they don't shoot the three well at all outside of Duncan Robinson. There's no consistency with this team when it comes to shooting the three. That's a problem in the postseason. So if it's exacerbated by the fact that you don't have other guys stepping up and scoring, that can be a shortened run. Now, I'm not predicting that. I'm just saying as we look at what's happening with this team, that's one of the concerns as we go into the playoffs.
That's to me the biggest concern. Look, they're going to play hard. Then again, in the playoffs, even the teams that don't play hard in the regular season, they play hard in the playoffs. You have to be able to score. They'll be able to defend probably as good, if not better, than anybody else. That's not going to be the issue. They'll rebound well. But you said it great because they're going to collapse. They'll blitz the heck out of Cade Cunningham, and he's got to have that other person to score points, especially to space the floor. Duran will still get his points, but he's not a floor spacer.
Stoney, shifting gears a little bit, Taylor Decker announced he's coming back next year. What was the reaction on the morning shows this week, and what's your reaction to it?
My reaction is, I'm glad that, he made the decision. I hope he doesn't have second thoughts. A lot of times people always say that, once that thought gets in your mind, even if you come back, it's always, it's psycho, subconscious. You always think about the retirement. I would like to see them restructure his deal. I don't think he's going to be healthy enough to play every game at what's he going to be making, like $21 million a year. You got to restructure it. Try to draft or get his replacement in free agency for next year. They have to build on that offensive line. And even when he played last year, he wasn't great. I mean, he's been a terrific guy and a terrific, person for this franchise, but I ain't paying him $21 million, and if he won't agree to restructure, I'd cut him and use the money somewhere else.
Yeah, I think it was interesting listening to Dan Campbell say, even if he comes back, we need to find another guy because you don't have the swing tackle anymore in Skipper. I don't think they're ready to anoint one of these young guys as the next tackle or swing tackle. I guess there's a chance Frazier could get some work at tackle. I asked Dan Campbell about that this past season, and he said, still up in the air. He's got that ability, and it's something that they may look at. But I do think, look, I'm a fan of Decker coming back. They can work out the money. I have no doubt that'll be something that they can figure out. But, Stoney, it just takes something off their to-do list. And I did think, and sitting next to Lomas and TJ, they seemed to think when he played pretty well last year. They did not find a lot of fault with his performance in a year where you could find some fault with that offensive line's performance.
Yeah, well, I trust those guys more than my knowledge. So if they think he played at top of his game, that's great. The offensive
well, he may not be what he was 5 years ago, but I just look at it this way, Stoney. If he had said, I'm retiring, that's a gaping hole. At least now you have Decker, and if you fortify it by getting the young guy who, perfect scenario, maybe he's got a year to learn, and then he comes in after this. Whatever the case, and maybe sign a veteran who has the ability to come in and play if he has to. But, man, it does take some of the pressure off. It allows you to look at some other things because they do need to figure out that center position. Got to have a veteran there. You've got to have somebody who's played in this league before, in my mind. And then the defensive line where you've got to figure things out in the middle and you've got to figure things out on the outside as well.
I'm glad you said the middle because everybody focuses on the pass rush and the edge rusher, which is definitely a need. There's no doubt about it, to be with Aiden. But, maybe he just needed another year coming off the injury. But Aleem McNeil was not the same Aleem McNeil after he came back. DJ Reader probably won't be there. Tyleek Williams, yes, you assume he's going to get better. But, yeah, look, the offensive line, the defensive line, that's the foundation of football these days, especially if you have a good quarterback. I mean, and they have a quarterback.
And then the question at safety. I mean, both those guys, it's a significant thing that they got to figure out because it's kind of a how much do you commit to it if you think they're going to be back? How much do you commit to it if you're not sure when they're coming back? Those are two of the best players on this football team. Those are two of the biggest game-changing playmakers on this football team between Kirby and BB that they may not be sure about. And that's a huge part of what they have to figure out going into next year.
I totally agree. And, I'm obviously not a doctor, but I wouldn't be stunned if Kirby Joseph's career is over. I mean, because it could be a degenerate knee situation. Branch will come back. I have no idea when. But I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back till, early October.
Stoney, good stuff. When are you on the radio again?
In about, what's today? It's 8 o'clock? About 10 hours.
About 10. Okay, there you go. Tomorrow morning shift. All right, Stoney, good stuff, man. We appreciate you. We'll see you again soon.
See you, Stoney.
Thanks,
Michael
Stoney.
Stone, you can check him out tomorrow morning, 97.1 The Ticket with John Jansen. He'll be on at 6 a.m. We're going to take a break. We're going to come right back. Hey, you want to join us? Zoom link right there. All you got to do is click it. It'll put you right in the Zoom room over here. Tommy will tell me you're there. We'll put you up.
Turn your cameras on.
Z, you're just taking a night off, man?
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's just sitting here running the clock, telling me when to go to break.
It's in the back. I don't.
I'm sorry.
It's an elaborate travel case.
Here
we go.
And go.
House band in the house. Sports office. Coming right back. Zebo playing us back in. We appreciate that, my man. Working hard. Good to see Dylan Larkin back with the Wings today.
Awesome.
Interesting, he talked about that taste of success made him want to taste the success that you can have with your team back here in the National Hockey League. And we're starting tomorrow night a stretch of games that will define where this organization is. And in many ways, these guys, including Dylan Larkin, because we've seen them for the past several years be in decent position and let it slip away. But now they have an opportunity where they've put themselves in a really good position. Now you got to finish.
I think it's 3 or 4 marches now. They've had a terrible stretch in March.
They've been death marches.
And I don't think they want to talk about March anymore. So
I know the coach does. McClellan's like, enough with the march.
But we got to ask because it's
been terrible.
I mean,
it's been stunning how bad they have been in March and how much it has cost them in terms of the postseason.
And this year, I think we've said all year, you got to make the playoffs this year. It's year whatever of the rebuild, year whatever of
Since
Yzerman.
2016, they haven't made the playoffs.
You have to.
And now
make
some
it.
of the young guys are coming up.
Right.
We're seeing draft choices that are playing.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing young players that we thought were just hopeful 3-4 years ago now leading the way. And really good players.
Yeah.
Guys that have risen, up in the ranks of players at their position, whether you're talking about Sider or whoever it might be. It's just, when you look at these guys, we heard that they were coming.
Yeah.
They're here now. Evanson's coming back. Sider's already here.
Sandine Pellikka's the one. He looks like another great piece if he can continue to be good. And then he fell off after the beginning of the year. But Emmett Finney had a great start.
Right.
If he can come
7th
back,
round draft pick.
If he can come back and have some of that scoring. Near right before the Olympic break, it was they're not great 5-on-5. So we got to start seeing something starting tomorrow.
And the key is some of the guys that didn't play down the stretch last year. Larkin, Lucas Raymond.
Yeah.
They've got to lead the way this year.
Yeah.
They've got, because last year after the Four Nations, we saw guys come back and they weren't the same.
Right.
Whether it was injuries or just being, and we know some of it was injuries. They've got to be, your best players have to be your best players. That's one thing Steve Yzerman talked about at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Your best players at critical times have to be the guys that lead the way. And that is Larkin, who's healthy coming back, assuming he didn't pull something in South Beach, because that looked like a rough go, man, for that whole night. Whatever those guys
the Miami
were going
flu, it hits a lot of players.
You could hear his raspy voice today, but you know what? He earned that, man. That looked like the best.
What are you
time
expecting
ever.
tomorrow after Washington, D.C., Miami, Olympic, Dylan Larkin? Are you going to give him a break for one game, or
Get in
hey,
there
we
and
got to
play?
go back?
No, I think he's right back. I think he's right back out there, man. You're wearing that C, lead the way. That's
I guess.
what I think.
I guess when you're the captain, it's a little different.
We'll take a break. We'll come right back. Closing segment of this edition of the Sports Office. Hit that Zoom link. Join us. We want to hear from you tonight. Hey, if you're in the Zoom room, you got to turn on your camera because we need to be able to see you to have you on. This simply is known as iPhone. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, man?
How you doing?
I'm good.
Do we have a name?
Yeah, Angelo.
Hey,
Good
Angelo.
to see you, Angelo. What's going on, man?
Now let's talk about the OKC and Pistons game.
Slow start for the home team, but they'll be all right.
Yeah, I think so. K, he doing his thing.
Yeah, and listen, this is not OKC. This is a group of imposters.
do you think
That's
about
not the team that won a championship last year.
No, and not at all.
If I spent $300 on a ticket to see SGA, I would not be happy tonight.
No, not at all.
Oh, man, that's rough. Well, Angelo, man, we appreciate you joining the show. You got to come back and see us again.
Okay, I will.
Appreciate
you,
you,
Angelo.
man. Thanks, Angelo, joining us right there.
Dan, you know how happy I am I went to Monday's game? Because I looked at all 3 games this week of Spurs, Thunder, and Cavs, and then me and one of my best friends just went to Spurs because we wanted to see Wembanyama, and everyone played Monday.
Yeah.
Just Isaiah Stewart was out because of suspension.
Spurs are really good.
2 days later, nobody's playing tonight.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I went to Monday's
They're
game.
really good. They're really young, and they got a lot of good players. You had an argument with Rob Wolchek today.
Well, I just thought it was ridiculous how he apparently was at the same game. And I know he's like 80 years older than me, so his eyes aren't that great. But to say Wembanyama isn't like this effective all-star guy, he's one of the best players in the world. And on the court...
No, man. I don't like you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. I seen better. He changes the game completely. He brought him in the same conversation as Jalen, but I can't do it. He made me so mad. He made me so mad.
We love him. See you tomorrow night.